Chapter 15, A Taste of Freedom. Humphrey had a little freedom the other day when his ball rolled out of the nature center, didn't he? I wonder what this chapter's going to bring. Let's find out. Guys, it's not going to be easy, AJ announced the next night in the Blue Jays' cabin. They'd worked extra hard to win me for the night. We're getting massacred by the Bob Whites, all because of that stupid Sam. Why'd he have to come to camp? Yeah, Richie agreed. Why didn't he go to the camp Brad's always bragging about? The one that's so much better than Happy Hallo. I glanced over at Brad, who was sitting on his bunk. It wasn't that great, he said. That got everybody's attention, especially mine. This camp isn't so bad, he admitted. The pool is smaller, but White Pines didn't have a lake. I like canoeing. In fact, I tied Sam today in the race across the lake. AJ's jaw dropped. You did? I was thinking, Brad continued, I've been spending a lot of time at the nature center, and I might do pretty well on the nature quiz. And the canoeing would help our score. And what about the knot tying thing? I mean, doesn't that just take practice? I forgot about that, AJ admitted. Has anybody been working on it? The other Blue Jays shook their heads. I wonder, I'm going to stop right there. Isn't somebody else working on knot tying? That should be interesting. I could practice that, Simon volunteered. I practiced burping for months, and look how well that turned out. He let out another thunderous burp, which made everybody laugh. Simon was always moving, but maybe if he put all his energy into one thing, like knot tying, it just might work. The Bob Whites are depending on Sam, AJ said, but that's no reason for us to give up. Blue Jays rule! They all cheered and high-fived, even Brad. At least for that night, I thought that even Super Sam couldn't defeat the Blue Jays. By the next afternoon, I was not as convinced. Sam got a bullseye in archery and pitched the winning softball game. He was amazing, all right. So where did that leave everybody else? That night, I heard the noises under the cabin. Skitter, 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 scritch, scritch, scritch. Hi, Goldenrod, I squeaked softly. Hi, Humphrey, she answered. Won't you join me? Someone dropped some lovely peanuts under the floorboards. Thanks a lot, but I had dinner, I said. She went back to scratching in the dirt. I still wondered what it would be like to live her life. But I had too many things to worry about to wonder for long. The next morning, Miranda and Kayla stopped by the rec room after breakfast. Miss Mac was already there getting her supplies for the day. Miss Mac, Miranda said, can we ask you something? Anything at all. Miss Mac's hands were full of markers and glue sticks. We were just thinking, maybe Noah is right, Miranda continued nervously. About Humphrey. Miss Mac looked amazed. You don't think we should set him free? She asked. Eek! I had to squeak up before things went too far. No, Miranda said, but he hasn't seen very much of the camp. He's just been cooped up in the nature center. It was true. I heard my friends talk about canoeing and swimming and archery, but I hadn't seen any of that. And where were those horses they talked about? I wanted to see more of the camp, but from inside my cage. The girls asked Miss Mac if they could take me out of the nature center that afternoon and give me a tour. Miss Mac thought for a while before answering. You girls are very responsible. Yes, I guess so, she said, as long as you absolutely promise not to let him out of his cage. The girls promised, and soon Miranda and Kayla had enlisted Saya and Abby to help them show me around Camp Happy Hallo. And oh, what a place it was. So much bigger than what I imagined just traveling from the cabins to the nature center to Happy Hallo Hall. There was the softball diamond, the volleyball court, the archery range. I was so glad no one was around since I wasn't interested in dodging sharp arrows. There were horses, too, the biggest creatures I'd ever seen or hoped to see. Their hooves were gigantic and they must weigh 1,000,000 pounds. And sitting right on top of one huge beast was AJ. Hi, Humphrey Dumpty, he shouted. I closed my eyes, hoping his loud voice wouldn't scare the horse. It didn't. We moved on, passing by a deep blue swimming pool. And who was diving off the diving board? Super Sam, of course. Then the girls took me out to the lake. We've saved the best for last, Miranda said. Welcome to Lake Lavender. Though I'd been sailing once before, quite unexpectedly, I'd never seen such a large and thrilling stretch of water. There was a dock with canoes lined up, and just for one teeny tiny second, I almost wished I could be a human. But then I realized that being a hamster gave me the chance to do and see things humans could never. And humans seem to have so many problems. I was only glad I'm around to lend a helping paw from time to time. What do you think, Humphrey? Saya asked as we gazed out at the rippling water. It's breathtaking, I exclaimed. And it was, with the blue of the lake and the blue of the sky and the... What was the circling in this blue sky? I squinted to get a better view of a very large bird. Oh, look, a hawk, said Abby. Oh, no, a hawk. Katie talked about them, too. They were not friends to small furry creatures. Eek! I squeaked, and the girls all giggled. But the lake was lovely. How Og would like it. It was hard to see water without thinking of my friend, whom I was beginning to miss. Next, the girls carried my cage up to the top of the hill. From way up there, I could see the camp nestled in a low spot. There it is, Humphrey. That valley there. That's Happy Hollow, Kayla said. So that's where the camp got its name. Miranda swung my cage around to another hollow right next to the camp. And that's Haunted Hollow, she said in an ominous tone of voice, where one group will get to spend the night. Yeah, the chickadees, said Abby. Miranda looked a little surprised. Or the robins, she countered. Abby folded her arms and shook her head. Sorry, Miranda, we've got it nailed. Right, Saya? I swiveled around in my cage to see Saya's face. She looked surprised and upset at the question. May the best team win, Miranda said. Then she added, and that will be us. I wasn't sure who the best team was, and I wasn't at all sure who would win. When we got back down to camp, something had changed. There was a group of campers gathered around a tree, and another group gathered around the next tree. I wondered what was going on. Miranda said. Once we got closer, I could see another clump of kids staring up at the side of the nature center. Come on, Kayla said, and we picked up our pace, which made it a tummy-wobbling trip. When we reached the first tree, Miranda elbowed her way through the small crowd. What's up? She said. This is up. Richie pointed at a handmade sign tacked to the tree trunk. Free the animals. Release our wild animals. Even though it was spelled aminals, I think we all knew what it meant. In smaller letters underneath, the sign says, Free Lovey, Jake, Og, and Humphrey. The sign maker was definitely not a good speller. Eek! I said without even thinking. Free Humphrey? Miranda sounded truly puzzled. That's not right, Saya added. I am not a wild animal, I protested, or aminal. He is not a wild animal, Saya repeated, even though she probably didn't understand what I'd said. We just thought alike. Just then, Counselor Katie approached. When she saw all the kids gathered, she came up to check things out. What's going on? She asked. This, Miranda pointed to the sign. Katie studied the sign and said, Oh. She stuffed her hands into the pockets of her shorts and asked, Who put this up? Duh, Richie said. It must be Noah. All he talks about is animals. Now, talking about animals is not a bad thing. In fact, I usually think it's a very good thing. But even though Noah cared a lot about animals, and he did, I was almost as frightened of him as I was of the hooty owl, the hawk, and the howler. I'll talk to him, Katie said. She left and the campers scattered. Miranda took me back to the nature center and set me on the table next to Og. We were alone then, except for Lovey and Jake, who were the other end of the table. I was still thinking about the hawk. Listen, Og, I said, Noah wants to free us, but I've been out there and I just want to say you might not want to be free. Boing! It was a quiet response. I'm just saying there are some dangerous creatures out there who are our enemies. They don't like hamsters and frogs at all, except maybe for dinner. I realized I was getting slightly hysterical, like owls and hawks and snakes. I was sorry as soon as I said it. I craned my neck to try and see Jake in his cage, but Lovey's crate blocked him. Maybe you don't feel that way, Jake, I said. My voice was a little weak. I'm sure you're a friendly snake, like I'm a friendly hamster and Og's a friendly frog, I added, hoping it would help. I'm afraid I didn't sound very convincing. I crossed my paws and hoped that I would not spend the night with the Bob Whites and Noah that particular night. Note to self, it's great to be free, but only when you want to be. And that's the end of the chapter. So he did get out. He did get out and get into the wild and go take a nice little walk with the girls. And he was safe because he was safe in his cage. But boy, somebody really wants to set him free. And I'm not really sure that that's the best thing for a little hamster. So the next chapter is called On Stage at the Comedy Club.